I'm hoping everybody's doing well today. My name is Richard Paul, and the session today is how to plan, research, and find the right entertainment for the right price. And I'm going to explain who I am because some of you are probably looking at me saying, "Who is that guy with the beard and no hair? Is it one of the techs from the Motown Peep Digital, or is it actually a speaker?" And no, I'm actually a speaker. I'm Richard Paul, and I own a company called, I should say I'm the president of the company called the Kieran Paul Group. And just to give you a little background, and the little button isn't working now, so let's see if we can get this to work. There we go. To give a little background, I started my company in 1975. My dad and I started the company together. His name was Frank Paul. Unfortunately, he's no longer with us, but he helped me put together what we are now called the Kieran Paul Group. Back then, we were called Bands Galore Enterprises. There was a store called Pants Galore, and we thought we'd call ourselves Bands Galore because we booked all these bands. And so we started that in 75. And we were booking clubs, booking bars. We had most of the east side, booking all the clubs 5 days a week. And then we had a little bit on the west side. And then the age group went from 18 to go into the bars to 21. And it was almost like COVID, what's going on now. Everything went deserted, and everybody stopped the band thing. And then Saturday Night Fever came out, and thanks to that, everyone went to DJs, and we decided to jump into the corporate market. We started booking, searching for entertainment and bands and all kinds of fun things for the corporates. We still do that, working within their themes. And then we joined the Fairs Association, and that's where we heard about MFEA. And way back when, in the early years, we joined the MFEA, and here we are. We're doing events and festivals and corporate, and we don't do the bar thing anymore. We said goodbye to that many, 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 many years ago. But we do enjoy booking the festivals, the fairs, and the corporate events. And I know there's some librarians too. They're part of MFEA, and we do a lot of work with librarians. I personally do it as a ventriloquist, libraries as well. So it's been a lot of fun. So for 40 years, we have helped our clients plan, research, and find the right entertainment for the right price. And that's why I decided I'd do this kind of session for you guys and gals and festival planners out there, to let you know that there are ways the right ways to find the right entertainment for the right price for your event. So without further ado, I'll get off me and start talking about what you came here to hear about, and here we are. So today's session, today we will be discussing the following: how to create an entertainment booking plan. I think it's very, very important that you have a plan before you go after the entertainment. So we're going to talk about how to do that, why it's important to book entertainment that ties in with your festival theme. We're going to talk about that. And then how to research the right entertainment for your event. So we're going to talk about the planning thing, and almost forgot how to negotiate the right price. Now, you will be seeing me, folks, drinking this. Some think it's vodka, some think it's water, but you figure it out as I'm doing this. If I'm slurring my words, you know it's vodka. If I'm not, you know it's water, or I just can hold my liquor very well. So it's up to you. So anyway, let's first talk about creating an entertainment plan. Create an entertainment plan. And you might say, why do I need an entertainment plan? Why can't I just go and get entertainment? Go find entertainment on my own. And, well, have you purchased a car? Have you ever purchased a car? Like when I purchased a car back in 2009, I purchased a 2009 Prius. And I knew I needed a car. Now, I could have just went and got any car, but I wanted a car that did well in gas. I wanted a car that had the seats folded down because I'm a ventriloquist and I carry a lot of equipment. I needed something where I could carry a lot of equipment. So I did my research. I did a plan of the car I wanted. I researched it. I researched the price, researched the styles, researched the colors, researched how many miles to the gallon it gets. I did all that before I purchased the car. And then I also mainly knew what the prices were going for. So when I went in there, I knew what I was doing. So that is why I'm saying we need to create an entertainment plan for when you purchase entertainment. It's no different than purchasing a car, purchasing a house, or purchasing anything else. You should have some kind of plan of what you're doing, what you want, why you want it, and all that good stuff. So we're going to first take a look at your master plan, okay? And then what we're going to do is figure out what your goals and objectives for the year will be to tie in with that master plan. And then, is your festival made up of one theme, or does it have multiple themes? And we're going to talk about that in just a minute. So let's first talk about the master plan. The master plan is the biggie. I think I hope and I pray that every festival has a master plan. Cities have master plans because they know where things are going to go, where the shopping centers are going to go, where the houses are going to go. And yes, they tweak it and they change ordinances and they change all kinds of things along the way, but there still is a master plan. I was on the Macomb Township Ethics Board. We were creating an ethics ordinance, and we needed to rely on the master plan, rely what the ordinances are, rely on all that stuff to create this new ordinance. So, and the same goes true with your festival. You should have some kind of master plan that was either put together or something that you can rely on to use to a change in something you use as a template for your festival. My wife and I have been watching this show on Netflix. It's called The Good Witch, and I think it's a Hallmark show. And I just let you know that I watch very silly, stupid kind of shows. But the reason I'm bringing this up is they're putting on the show I watched last night. They were putting on a lights festival, okay? And the mayor comes in with this big book. It's a master plan of all the years they did the lights festival, so they could use this as a template of who the vendors are, what they did, what worked, what didn't work, and whatnot. That's what I'm talking about. Having something that you have that you can pass along and pass it down to your people, but most importantly, helps you as a template to figure out what kind of entertainment you're going to want to get. So the master plan for the festival is like I said, a master plan for the city. It describes the festival, it describes the mission, the vision, and the layout for the event. And that's what it should do. And if it doesn't, then you guys as the board in your festival, you might want to go back and work on that a little bit on the off season and tighten that up, because it'll help you when the season does come. The master plan is also something every festival should work on yearly to update and to remind old and new board members and volunteers what the festival is and why you do it. Because you have information in the background there in that book, if you will, or that master plan. And it kind of reminds everybody why you started, why you did it, who started it, and who the charter members are. And it's kind of a neat thing, not only for history, but to see what worked and what didn't work in the festival over the course of the years. So that'll help you to figure out the right and correct entertainment that'll work for your festival as well, just by reviewing all that. So that is one thing I would say. Does anybody have any questions now about the master plan? Anybody want to throw a comment out to me? Hi, Michael. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for saying hi, Michael. Okay, nobody? Anybody? Bueller? I feel like I'm on the Ferris Bueller. Okay, now it's time for before I switch the slides, it's time for the vodka/water, and nobody really knows what I'm drinking. Okay, we get to the next one. The next slide is goals and objectives. Okay, we talked about the master plan, the goals and objectives. And if you're looking for something way, way out in the future, say maybe for your festival, you're going to want to someday put in some big stage or something for the festival. Or maybe you want to put in a big Ferris wheel in the center of the festival. That would be some future goal. future goal, something there you can really dream about. But for now, if it's for something for this coming year, I would say make sure it's measurable and it's realistic and it's achievable for this year. So that goal, that entertainment goal, would be something that, whatever you're doing, whatever your theme or whatever you're doing, whatever goal you're thinking about to bring in the entertainment, is something that's realistic, something you could do this year, especially with all the COVID and all the craziness going on. You want to make sure they're realistic so you can get to them and nobody feels frustrated because you didn't do it, especially your sponsors. So your goals should be tie in with your master plan. Always make sure those goals tie in with your master plan. And I know some of you guys are going, well, what does this have to do with entertainment that might have just joined us? I just want you to know that with as long as we can understand our master plan, we understand our goals, and we can understand what kind of entertainment we need for our festival. And that's why we're running through this. Okay, so bear with me, and we'll get into the meat and potatoes of why you guys signed up for this. Okay, so your festival vision should tie in with your goals. So your vision, your goals, and your master plan all have to work together, which will help you then. It will help you with your entertainment objectives, and your entertainment objectives should tie in with your master plan, your goals, your vision, and your theme. It all sways and works together, okay? So, for example, if you were, let's say, the Dickens Festival, okay, which I've performed there many, many times, the Dickens Festival in Holly. And you know your master plan, you know the layout of it, you know your goals and objectives of it. You know at that point that when you're figuring out entertainment, that you shouldn't be hiring a 50s, 60s band on that stage, because that doesn't tie in with the goals and objectives, doesn't tie in with the master plan. And that's the reasoning behind this. I know that's kind of like way, not many festivals would do something like that, be that so out in left field. But on the other hand, I've been to some events that do that. And so the idea is to really get to know, really understand your people, really understand your festival, and then you'll find the right entertainment that fits the stage, as Holly always does. They find the right entertainment not only for me, but on my Punch and Judy guy. If you go to the expo area, I got my Punch and Judy guy there. He does that. I perform there as a ventriloquist and as a medicine man as well, / snake oil guy. And all that ties in with their theme really well, including the music that they choose and everything else. That's what I'm talking about. You know your master plan, you know your goals and objectives, and you know the type of entertainment you need to hire for that event that makes it fit in with everything. So before I move on, anybody else want to type in a question or two, or have a comment that they want to share from the goals and objectives and from the master plan? Nobody. Okay, then I will go on. We will talk about the festival themes now. And I know a lot of festivals have themes, but there are some out there that still do not have themes. And so you have to ask yourself, does your festival have a theme? Or does your festival have multiple themes? Because some festivals do have multiple themes. You could have a festival that is a car show festival, for example. And then there might be another theme that ties in with that car show festival theme, where it could be an Elvis area, Elvis land, you could call it. And in Elvis land, you could have all kinds of fun things there. You could have a kids dress up as Elvis contest. You could have kids dressed up as Elvis mimicking Elvis contest. You could have adults dressed up mimicking Elvis's contest. And then, of course, have your headliner, your entertainment you would book would be, of course, an Elvis tribute show. And anything around Elvis is what you would book. So that is an example of having multiple themes within a theme. And so the question is, why is it so important to have a theme? Well, great themes bring in people. I'm telling you, great things bringing people. And I'm not going to mention the festivals because I don't want anybody saying that I love one festival over another. I don't want to do that. But there's festivals here in Michigan that have certain themes that they do. And their themes bring in the people. It's not the entertainment so much as the theme itself, but they make sure that the entertainment stays within the theme that brings people in, if that makes sense to you. So, and sponsors love the fact that you have themes and they get all excited about it. So let me bring about some themes that I just threw up just for fun. A Back to the Future theme. If you did a Back to the Future theme, you'd say, wow, you know, with that kind of theme, is that going to bring in people? Yes, it's going to. You get people dressed dress the part. You get people that come in with the DeLoreans and have DeLorean car shows and all kinds of stuff with it. So there's so many things that would just that theme alone would bring in people. A Woodstock theme. That's another one that just would bring in people, and sponsors would love it to death. And you'd set yourself up that way. Or a zombie theme. If you're doing already, that's where you could do a multiple. Let's say you're doing a fall festival, and as part of that fall festival, there could be a section, a zombie area, and have some fun. Or maybe it's a Halloween thing, and you have a zombie area. And there's so many things you can do with it. I have bands that are zombie bands, and they play all the fun zombie music. And then I've seen things where people have zombie face painting, zombie, all kinds of stuff. They tie it all in as part of that theme for that zombie fest. And sponsors like these kind of things. And the entertainments, so that's where you have to be specific. So if you're doing a zombie theme, now you don't want to put in something like a polka band and a zombie theme. It's not going to work. So you want to stay to the theme. Classic car theme, which a lot of people are doing, and they have classic car shows within their festival, but if that's your draw, then I would suggest you could probably do another theme that connects to that. Like if you want to do something with dogs, you could do hound dog area, and have people come with their dogs, dressing their dogs up, and you could have maybe dog shows that tie in, like Rock and Roll Canines, which I book. They tie in really nice with the car show as well, and you could have that area in for that. Just an example of entertainment that would tie into a theme like that, and sponsors just love it to death. In fact, some of these acts do already have sponsors that can help pay, as long as that sponsor feels that what they're doing ties in with their goals and objectives and what they want to do. So, but that's a whole nother story. If you want to learn about that, feel free to text me or email me anytime. I'd be happy to share on that. But then there's also the Edison Tesla theme that I just came up with. My wife looked at that and said, why that? Well, there's Victorian Fest and all that kind of stuff, but now the movie's out with Edison versus Tesla, and all the books and everything, and with all the people getting into the electric cars and all that kind of stuff. Why not? Why not do a festival where it all began? Get your historical society tied in, and work on putting together a plan for that, and the entertainment around as well. So that's another one. The Renaissance theme pretty much speaks for itself. The Michigan Renaissance Festival and all of them around Michigan. There's a lot of people that do that. And they know for a fact already that not to put in a classic rock band in a Renaissance theme festival. That's again why we were talking about the goals, objectives, and the master plan. So you put in the right entertainment for your event. I threw in another one, a Great Gatsby theme. I did that with a pharmaceutical company, and we had a casino night. We had a band that dressed the part, played the part, and then as the night went on, they played the good old dance music. But we kept everything to the theme. We made it like a speakeasy. So, I mean, there's things like that you can do that tie in if you're doing something, Roaring 20s kind of festival or whatever you're doing. You can create a Great Gatsby theme. And that, again, sponsors would love that as well. So let's talk about multiple themes now. I know a lot of you probably have gone to, it says how much of the theme is for marketing versus actual activities for the event? Is it really for both reasons? And I would say it's for both. Because, and that's what I'm getting into right now with the themes within Disney World here. I think there's a lot of people, a lot of events that just market their event versus market their activities or market their bands. They market their event and what their event's going to be doing at that event. if that makes sense. And then comes second nature. Like, for example, the MFEA here. We know this conference is and what it is and all the different things about it. But then when you got Grand Funk Railroad playing too, and you market them as part of it, but they're not the actual event itself. So that's what I'm trying to say is your theme is for the marketing and your activities and all this part of the marketing as well for the event. So it all ties in, and sponsors just love this kind of stuff. They can wrap their name around something really cool, a cool theme, a good name of the event. They're all for it, and they'll come to you versus you come to them, in my opinion, because I've noticed that's happened in the past. Multiple themes. I'm using Disney World again. I know some of you have probably gone to my Disney breakouts that I've done over the years. I'm a big Disney fan. And like, if you look at this on this PowerPoint, you'll see this is the Magic Kingdom. The Magic Kingdom set up as like really three, almost four themes. You've got Frontierland, you've got Fantasyland, Tomorrowland, and you've got Liberty Square in the middle there. The reason they do this is if it was just one theme, how boring would it be? How many of us would have gone back? You know, because most of the time you get to one part of the park and then you never leave it, and you got to come back the second day or buy that second day park thing so you can get the other stuff. That's kind of what I'm talking about here with your festival. Having 2 or 3 great themes within your theme that tie in within the theme of your event. That one, like we talked about, helps you market it, helps you market those activities as well of it, or the themes of it. But also it gives you it gives you that creativity within the festival, and it gives the people a reason to want to come back. Let me use an example. It's time for the drink break again. I perform at a festival up in the UP, the Chippewa County Fair, and people come back. I'm there 5 days performing, and I do 3 shows a day there. And what interests me is how many people come back almost every day to that fair. And the reason being is it's a small fair. It's not a Disney World by any means. And you may say, well, there's nothing to do in the UP, but there's a lot to do in the UP. I've been up in the Upper Peninsula, and there's a lot to do up there. And I disagree. I mean, this is very close to Sault Ste. Marie and all that. So the reason that people come back is because there's so many different things to do. Because you have my show there adjacent to the rides and all the fun stuff for the kids. Then there's another area that has the tractor pull. And then there's another area where they do the tractor pull that they turn that around and it ends up being a demolition derby and races. And you see what I'm saying? They've got these little theme things going on between wanting people to come back. And it's not so much band entertainment as it is just the activities that they do. So when we talk entertainment, and even though I'm as a booking agent, I'm saying, I'm telling you this saying, and you're probably saying, why is he saying this? Because he's not going to make any money. Well, that's not the point of me doing this. The point of this is creating the best festival out there that you can do. But all the places I've seen, and this is one of them, they don't have a lot of entertainment, but they pull in a ton of people. And they come in almost every day. And I think it's because they have like a Disney strategy going on. I mean, they got areas there for the animals, the kids involved with the animal, activities for the animals. My goodness, I learned about bees there. I learned about beekeeping there. So those are the kind of things activities you can put on that don't really cost you any money. You can go to the MSU extension and get those kind of ideas and use that as your entertainment source and part of one of your themes that you might be putting on your festival. So there's so many different ways, and the idea is to have so many little hooks to bring the people back to your festival, not just one day, but 2 days and 3 days, whatever the length of your festival is. That's the key. The multiple things offer opportunity for a wide variety of entertainment options as well. Okay, so let's say you have. Well, let's look at Sterling Heights, for example. I don't know if Kyle's here or not, but Kyle's a client of mine. and the downtown development there, the I'm sorry, community relations people. I think Brittany is part of that. They're very clever people because they've really created themes within that Sterling Fest. Okay, you have a main stage where they have the rock and roll and the name acts and the entertainment and your 80s bands and all that kind of stuff. Okay, they also have a kids area, and it's an established kids area, and they also have a jazz area. Okay, and they also have a beer tent. So they're not Tomorrowland, Frontierland, that they're not that, but they do have their specific reason at their festival, because not everybody's going to like heavy metal, rock and roll, or hip hop, or whatever they might be putting on that main stage. Okay, but not everybody's going to like jazz, so they have a jazz area for the jazz people, and they put all their artists there. So that artist and the jazz ties in together. The arts tie in with the jazz. That's a little bit of a theme going on there. Okay, then they have that area near where the rides are, and they have a nice little pavilion for the kids, and they call it kids activities and kids. They used to call it the kids tent, but it's more of the kid. And they Comcast Cable put their name around it now because they like the idea. And so they have those activities, and they have the kids acts going on. And then, like I said, the Jazz Fest, and then they have the main stage, and then they have the beer tent with a variety of things going on in the beer tent. So it allows them to be creative with entertainment. It allows them to work on sticking to the theme. It allows them to make sure that they stick to the theme, and I honor them for that. I mean, you're not going to see a 50s rock and roll band performing on the kids stage, or you're not going to see an 80s band, or as much my band Flight that I had at the showcase yesterday. You're not going to see them there. You might see them at the beer tent, but they're not going to be in the kids area, and they're not going to be in the jazz section. So the point is, you really want to know your theme, know where you need to put this entertainment so they're in the right spot, and stay consistent. Because the ones like, if they're jazz there, if they decide to throw in a punk group in that jazz area, their jazz theme would be gone, because the jazz people are going to be upset. These are people that come every year, come back every day to check out the jazz. And that's why it's so important to stay consistent with the theme, or your multiple themes, and where you're putting your entertainment. That's why it's so important. It allows you to advertise, allows you to get sponsors, and and people want to come back, and people do come back on a daily basis. In Sterling Heights, I've seen that happen too as well. Any other questions? It says here, if I'm new to coordinating this festival, how can I find entertainment to fit my theme? How can you find entertainment to fit your theme? We're going to talk about that in just a second. Bear with me, Lisa Paul. I don't know who you are, but thank you for that, and I will be talking about that in just a second. But we're going to talk about that. We're building up to that. So before we get to that part of finding that, we want to know the story behind your theme. I think you should have a story behind it, like Pirates of the Caribbean. If you've ridden this ride, you know there's a story behind it. There's a theme behind it. And your festival should have that theme. If you're going for really a deep theme, like a Victorian theme or a Great Gatsby theme, and have some kind of story, have something in the background, because that way there you can now find that right entertainment that fits into that theme. So that gives you that. So here we go to answer the question from Lisa about if I'm a new coordinator, how do we book the right entertainment for our themes? How do we do it? How do we find it? Will it fit the theme? These are the questions you ask yourself. What age group are you trying to? Will the sponsors want to support them? And how will we promote them? Okay. So we want to first, we figured out a theme, we figured our goals and objectives. So now we're in search of the bands. And how do we do that? Well, you can call an agent like me. And I've been around the block for 40 years, and I pretty much know a lot of different styles of bands, a lot of different entertainers that fit various themes. So you could do that. But you may be a new person. You might say, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do it with an agent. I want to do this on my own. I want to do it myself. And that's okay. You can do it. And what I would do is, you're doing the right thing by coming here to MFEA to talk to other people find out what they're doing, how they're doing, who they had, how it worked, how that particular act worked for them, and did they stick within the theme? You know, so for example, maybe you're like a Victorian Fest and you found the Victorian Fest over here in Northville, and Victorian Fest in Northville had this act, this act, this act. You can find out from them about them and find out how they work for them. Did they stick to the theme, like I said, and were you happy with them? And you learn that way. Or you can find through family and friends, you know, people that have attended. Maybe you're a Renaissance festival and you're putting on something like the Michigan Renaissance Festival, and you know family and friends that have been there and saw these acts and these entertainers for years and years, and maybe you want to bring that into your event because it fits your theme or one of your themes in your festival. That's a way to talk and find out from them, to get some background information. Wonderful thing is we got something called Google, and we can Google any act anywhere, and we can learn things. But the depth of it is you want to make sure that you do your research, you do your background on the band. Don't just assume because they have a beautiful website, a beautiful Facebook, and all these wonderful things people are saying about them. Don't just assume that. Do your homework. Look at, like they do the background checks for the Santas, do your background checks for your bands, making sure that they are who they say they are. And make sure that they look at their song list. If it's a band, look at their song. If it's a juggler or something, look at what they've done. Videos, look at what they're marketing themselves as. Does that fit the theme? Because, and then find out if your sponsor wants to support them. We book the entertainment, most of the entertainment for Jimmy John's Stadium in Utica, and their sponsors, they're the ones that really, you know, they're the ones that have to prove a lot of this stuff. They want to make sure that, you know, okay, we want this certain tribute day, and are you going to give us a tribute band for it? You know, like maybe they want Kiss, a tribute Kiss band, okay? So we're not going to put a Jimmy Buffett band into that sponsor because they want Kiss. So we're going to find the right Kiss acts to offer them, let them see the videos, give them the background, give them the song list, and get their approval. And once we get their approval, then we can move forward. And then we can start promoting it. So so when you find, you figure out your theme, you figure out your age group, and you find the right entertainment by doing your diligence, doing your homework, figuring out how you're going to do it. And it takes time. It takes a lot of time, but in the long run, it's worth it because your festival have a consistency of entertainment that ties in, and that's what's going to bring those people back. The sponsor's going to love it. And again, it's going to be easier for you to promote the event as well. So again, just putting up a bunch of name bands isn't going to bring in people. What really brings in people is how you created your theme, how you want people to come to this. You know, these people are going to say, wow, I want to check this out. This looks really cool. And then the entertainment just falls into place. And so with the entertainment, it helps you to promote them. So it kind of works hand in hand with it. Any questions? Any more questions before I move on? Anybody? Bueller? I've been waiting to do that. Okay. Okay, I added one more thing I forgot about. What can we put with them that will complement them? So that's another thing, okay? Let's say you're putting on an Elvis festival, okay? Or a section of the festival is Elvis. And you have your Elvis tribute that's going to bring in on the main stage, bringing the people. What else could you do there? Well, you could find other entertainment or fun activities that are entertainment that would tie right in that. And I think I used an example earlier. You could have kids dressed up as Elvis pantomiming. That's part of your entertainment. Or even adults up there dressed as Elvis pantomiming. So those are things that tie in. If you do any entertainment, it should have something that ties in. I used to book a guy by the name of Elvis the Clown. And we used to do that to tie in for festivals. So, you know, you got the clown there, but you got still tying in with the theme. So, and I noticed I spelled theme wrong. There's supposed to be an E at the end. Sorry about that. But that's okay. I caught it now, too late. Any other questions? Any other questions? Nobody. Okay. Okay, so now you have the data and you know the goals and objectives, you know the theme, you know the age group or the age groups you want to hit on in your festival. So how do you find it? Like I said, you can work with an agent like me. You can go Google it. You can do your research on Facebook. There's a lot of it, talk to your family and friends, who knows who's been where. There's so many people have gone to different festivals and they're big fans of festivals around Michigan. Talk to your friends and family when you're there. Ask them what kind of things they've seen. And then when they tell you about somebody, what you do is you then do your homework. Don't just assume because they told you they were good. Another thing when you're finding the right entertainment, especially bands, you want to make sure you find out how long they've been together. Okay. How long they've been together as a band, because, and this is very important, because if one or two of them got sick, do they know other people that can fill in for them? Because the bands that have been together the longest, 9 times out of 10, have people in their resources that they can use. Like my Daniel Harrison, the $2 Highway, I have him showcasing today. That's a band right there. I mean, if his bass player, his keyboard, any of these people got sick, he can fill in people easily. He's done it. We've had people get sick in events and nobody ever knew. And that's because he's been around for, I want to say 15 years, performing, and whether this be with this band or with other bands. And Flight is another good example. Flight, they've been together for a long, long time, and most of those band members are in other bands too still. And so if something happens in Flight where somebody got sick or whatever, a horn player, whatever, they can fill somebody in with no problem. So they don't have to cancel the date. Now, if you're booking a magician like Nick there that I have up there, or a puppeteer, we would have to, that's where you'd have to find a magician. As an agent, we do that automatically. If somebody gets sick, we fill somebody in, let you know about it, and fill somebody in of equal quality. But the point is, like, even Rebooted, all these type of people, so that's, you want to make sure, okay, how long? And if they say, well, we've only been together for 2 years, well, what's your background? Tell me what other bands you've been in. Who do you know? And that way it gives you the data you need to make sure that when you do book this act, that you're not left high and dry. And you just don't want that to happen. And that's why, when you work with an agency, that's where we're kind of a backup for that. But again, like I said, there's a lot of people out there that prefer not to work with agents. And that's okay. Yeah, but just kind of like, do your homework and make sure you've got a backup plan. We always work at having a backup plan here for every event we do. And you should do that too. Have a backup plan, have people in your resources. Because if somebody did get sick, or if you got to move something, change something because somebody's in a car accident or something, be prepared and be ready to do it. And with your data and your research and all that stuff you've got in your back pocket, you have in your files, you should be able to do that. Any questions? Any questions? Questions? Nobody. No question. I feel like I'm in my economic class. It's 7 in the morning at Macomb Community College. And my teacher would say, questions. And we were so tired, none of us had questions till we got home to figure out, look at our notes and read the book and figure out we had no clue what he was talking about in economics. But, oh well. Hopefully you have a clue what I'm talking about, because this isn't rocket science. It's something that, as long as you do your homework and you do your research, guess what? You're going to do great. You can do wonderful, and you're going to have a wonderful festival. So how do you negotiate the right price? How do we negotiate the right price? Well, this is the biggie, because a lot of people especially this year, a lot of people on budgets and everything else. It's very crucial to negotiate the right price. So how do we do it? We try to find out what other festivals have paid for the entertainers. Now, some will tell you, some won't. Some don't want to give that out. But there's some out there that would like to share information. And now, keep in mind that a band that, for example, a band that might have worked in Bay City, and it lives in Bay City, might be a lot cheaper than somebody who worked way up in the UP. That same band worked in the UP. It's going to be more money because of travel and everything else that comes with it. But at least when you find out what the other festivals are paying, you got an idea at least to make sure that you're not being taken advantage of. Because some bands and some entertainers will do that, and you want to watch it, and even agents will do that, so you got to watch yourself. To get the right price, another idea is to offer multiple dates or showtimes, okay? And a lot of people frown against this. They don't want to do this. They want all different entertainment, but you can save a lot of money when you do it this way. Like, for example, let's use Rebooted. Okay, we got Rebooted coming up for the showcase. Fabulous band. You got to check them out. You book them for a date, okay? And let's say you want to book them again. Well, she can do Rebooted. She can do she has another one where she does a swing act, or she does a Patsy Cline tribute show. So you could get that same act doing different things, giving them, instead of one date, now you've given them 2 or 3 dates. And now I would, as an agent, go back to her and say, okay, Judy, we have 3 dates here. This is what they want to do. What can we do? And chances are you're going to get a better price than if you would have just booked it for one day. And so now you got 2 or 3 acts, two or three different things that you can promote that are completely different. Another example would be, I've got this duo, they're called Bob and Carl. Bob and Carl do classic rock, or they can do Jimmy Buffett. And some people book them as a classic rock or Jimmy Buffett, and then they have maybe an Irish pub theme going on Saturday night. And they ask me for an Irish band, and I'll say, well, Bob and Carl could do that. No, they do that. No, Bob and Carl can do a whole night of Irish. They do this at St. Patrick's Day. They're hired at 3-4 pubs, St. Patrick's Day week or weekend, and that's what they do, a full night of Irish. So you gotta really, when you book your entertainment, really do your research, find out what else they do, because if you can book that one act for multiple dates, you're gonna save money. Now you got some buying power. Now you can say, listen, I'm going to give you 2 dates, 2 times, or maybe 2 times in the day. What kind of deal are you going to give me for 2 times? I'll put you on the afternoon, I'll put you on the evening. What are you going to give me? Will you work with me? I mean, they'd be fools not to work with you. And it allows you to fill in a second time slot for less money. So you save money. My own show, for example, like I told you, I do the Chippewa County Bear, and they hire me for 5 days, 3 shows a day. I am giving them a better deal than one guy that's hired me for 1 day, 1 show or 2 shows. You know, it's just the more days you give us, the more shows we get, the best price you will get. And that's something you really want to work on. Figure that out in your master plan and your planning, so that way you know when you go to the act and you say, hey, I've got these dates, I have these times, these multiple, what kind of deal can you give me? You know what you're talking about, and they know that you mean it. So that's what I would do there. Now, another idea would be to try to book with another festival or an event near your area to get a group rate. That's another way to do it. Excuse me, I had to get some more. That's another way to do it. It's almost like as an agent, like I had an act this week. And I called them and I said, okay, I've got 3 different locations, 3 different dates for you. Will you give me a deal? Will you give me, because we got some budget problems here. Can you give me a deal if I can book you for these 3 dates? So grant you, they weren't in the same location, they weren't the same dates, but I got a better deal because I was able to give them 3 dates, boom, like that, contract them, and all 3 of my clients are happy. They save money. You can do the same thing too by getting with other festivals, or even better, if you get festivals around, you talk today and to your other festivals and find out if somebody's doing something on Friday, they could take the band you like. You take Saturday and somebody takes Sunday. Now the 3 of you offer them 3 dates. Any agent, any band would be fools not to take the 3 dates from you and give you the best price possible. So that is another way that you can really save yourself money and save each festival money. That's what they do and how they do it. You know, The old saying, nobody wants to pay full price. Nobody wants to pay sticker. I didn't pay sticker on that Prius, I'm telling you. I did my homework. And for those of you who just joined, just rewind and look at that later and you'll learn about the Prius story. Okay, the next thing is when you work with an agent that books entertainers for multiple dates through the year, like that's me. I just said that already. Any agent out there, any agent usually works with, gives a group multiple dates, and that's why they can save money. Good example, Gary Tyson is one of my close-up magicians, and for years I booked him in for corporate events and comedy events, and because he's a great comedian as well. And he would get people that approach him for events, and they would say, well, what do you get without the agent? What do you get? And he always quoted more, because he quotes me a better price than he would quote the person, the one, because I'm giving him 10, 15, 20 dates a year. You're giving him one. So that's why he would say that. And people would say, you're crazy. What are you talking about? No, that's why he does it. And so in the long run, when you can come work together with other venues, or if you work with an agent that's willing to work with you and work with your goals and objectives and with your budget, you can save some money. And anybody have any questions about negotiation at this point? Anybody? Nobody? Okay. Now, this is another one I want to add is be willing to offer something in return for your discounted rate. Okay. That's one thing you really want to think about. And you say, well, what can we offer? Well, maybe you can offer them some food passes for the band. Like, for example, I have a band that's a show, but it was a Kiss show band, and I had a client that had a price that they just couldn't afford the regular rate, and it was during the week, so the band gave me a really nice discount. And so then in return, they're going to feed them, and they're going to give them a really nice dressing room for them to be in. Instead of just a bathroom, they get a real nice dressing room. So, it could be something as simple as okay, being that you give me a discounted rate, I will give you 5 parking areas close to the stage. We'll make sure that those are closed off for you. I mean, there's just, which that's something you should do anyway for bands and that, because they're hauling equipment. But I'm just throwing things out there, just something that you can, if they're going to negotiate a price, maybe you can throw something back at them, or maybe you have a TV or radio interview you can throw at them back. Whatever. Just it kind of helps you. They'll, especially when you book them the following year, they're going to look forward to giving you the good rate and not try to raise the rate of $200, $300, $400. They'll stay within your budget. So that's how to negotiate the right price. Oh, it says food is always good. Yeah, Randy. Yes, food is always good. I remember I did the Taste Fest years ago, and they wanted me to do a ventriloquist show for the kids tent, and they said it was way less than what I normally make, but they offered me all this food, and it was great food. I took the gig because of the food. I had to walk 2 miles with my equipment, but the food, it was worth it. So, and it was a great fun time to do the Taste Fest. That was when it was in Pontiac. A lot of fun. So yes, so try to offer something in return. So once you have selected your plan of action, did all that work on that. Once you figured out your marketable theme or group theme, once you've worked through your data that we talked about, once you've done your homework and done your research, once you negotiated the right price and the right entertainment for the themes, guess what? You've got success, people. Yay, success. Let's drink to that. Yes, success. You have success. And when you have success, guess what? People come to your events. They're smiling. They're happy. They're telling more people and more people and more people come and more people, and they cheer and they scream and they tell their family and friends on Facebook while they're at your festival, because you did your work. You created your theme. You found the right bands. You found the right entertainers. You came up with the cool activities that didn't cost you anything, but were entertainment on stage, because you did your work. And You pat yourself on the back at that point. You take yourself, sit back and have a drink, a glass of water. I've been drinking water, folks. Unless you've heard me slur, then I haven't. And that's what you've done. So if anybody have any questions before I say goodbye to you all? Anybody? Anybody want to share anything? Something happy news? Anything? Okay. Well, it has been an honor and a privilege to do this virtual thing. I want to thank the people at Motown. Motown Digital, you guys did a wonderful job. Thanks for training us. I applaud them all. You guys, if you're there, I'm applauding you. Thank you. Thank you for everything. You taught us so much. And I want to thank all the board of directors and all the MFE8 members. Keep up the good work. Keep up the festivals. And I hope have you guys check us out at Karen Paul Group for dynamic entertainment and entertainment concepts. And check out our bands at the showcase, and feel free to go to the expo. Check out Magic of Nick, Gary Tyson, the Punch and Judy, and myself. You guys are awesome. Have a wonderful day, and stay warm. Stay warm out there because it's beautiful. Enjoy it. I'm going to go and finish staining my deck now. So have a wonderful day. Bye-bye, everyone. Bye-bye. 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 Bye-bye.